Welcome back to AI Reviews. Like always, I am your host, Lee. Today we are having an AI review, The Legend of Ochi, 4 times ranging from loving it to hating it. This is a movie that I saw a trailer for, and it looked weird enough for me to want to watch it, but let's see what the AI thinks.
Oh my goodness! The Legend of Ochi is absolutely magical. Directed by Isaiah Saxon in what is a stunning feature debut, this film is a breath of fresh air in the fantasy genre, captivating the heart with its rich storytelling and enchanting visual style. It's a cinematic journey that reminds us of the power of courage, compassion, and the enduring magic of nature. Set on the mystical island of Carpathia, the film follows Yuri, portrayed by the incredibly talented Helena Zengel, a shy farm girl who embarks on an unexpected adventure. The story begins in her small village, where the mysterious and feared creatures known as Ochi are considered dangerous. But when Yuri finds a wounded baby Ochi, her heart takes over, and she decides to return this adorable creature to its family, challenging the fears and myths she grew up with. Helena Zengel is an absolute revelation in this role. Her portrayal of Yuri's transformation from a timid girl into a brave heroine is nothing short of inspirational. She brings such depth and sincerity to her character that you can't help but root for her every step of the way. And let's talk about the supporting cast. Finn Wolfhard, Emily Watson, and Willem Dafoe bring their A-game, each adding layers of complexity and charm to this rich tapestry. The visual presentation of The Legend of Ochi is a character in its own right. Opting for traditional puppetry over CGI, the film offers a tactile and organic feel that harkens back to the beloved classics like The Dark Crystal. This choice not only sets the film apart visually, but also imbues it with a soulful nostalgia that enhances the overall emotional impact. The creatures, the Ochi, are so wonderfully realized that they feel alive, each movement and expression endearing them to viewers and making Yuri's journey even more compelling. The adventure aspect of the film is perfectly paced, blending moments of tension with awe-inspiring beauty. As Yuri navigates through lush forests and across sweeping landscapes, the cinematography captures every moment with vibrant clarity, making Carpathia a place you wish you could visit. The score, though noted as a bit overpowering during its festival premiere, is sweeping and beautifully complements the high stakes and the mystical atmosphere of the film. However, The Legend of Ochi is more than just a visual and auditory treat. It's a profound narrative about overcoming fear and misunderstanding. It challenges us to question the myths and prejudices we hold, advocating for empathy and understanding in a world that often seems divided. Yuri's journey is a powerful metaphor for the courage it takes to confront and change long-held beliefs, making this film not only entertaining but deeply meaningful. In summary, The Legend of Ochi is a must-see for anyone who loves fantasy, adventure, and stories that warm the heart and stir the soul. It's a film that combines spectacular visuals, stellar performances, and a timeless message into a truly unforgettable experience. Get ready to be swept off your feet into a world where bravery and beauty reign supreme.
The Legend of Ochi, directed by Isaiah Saxon, embarks on a journey through the mystical and enchanted terrains of the fantasy genre. As an installment that weaves together the traditional art of puppetry with the rich storytelling characteristic of 24 films, it presents a bold venture into the world of visual and narrative experimentation. While the film excels in many aspects, delivering a visually striking and emotionally resonant tale, it also faces challenges that prevent it from reaching the pinnacle of cinematic excellence. Helena Zengel stars as Yuri, a shy farm girl whose life takes a dramatic turn when she encounters a wounded creature known as an Ochi. Zengel's performance is undoubtedly the backbone of this film, providing a compelling portrayal of bravery and innocence. Her ability to convey deep emotions with minimal dialogue highlights her formidable talent and makes Yuri's journey profoundly engaging. Alongside her, seasoned actors like Finn Wolfhard, Emily Watson, and Willem Dafoe offer strong support, enriching the film's emotional landscape with their seasoned performances. The choice to use traditional puppetry instead of CGI to bring the Ochi and other creatures to life is both a strength and a weakness of the film. On one hand, it grants The Legend of Ochi a charming, nostalgic feel that harks back to classic films like Labyrinth or The Never-Ending Story, appealing to both new audiences and those yearning for the fantasy films of their youth. The creatures are crafted with remarkable attention to detail, allowing them to resonate emotionally with the audience. However, this method also brings limitations, There are moments where the puppetry does not completely capture the fluidity of movement or expression achievable through modern CGI, occasionally breaking the immersion necessary to fully engage with the fantasy world of Carpathia. Visually, the film is a feast for the eyes. The lush landscapes and detailed set designs are captured with a vibrant color palette that enhances the magical quality of the narrative. Yet, the film's visual appeal is sometimes overshadowed by its audio elements. The score, though beautifully composed, is noted to be overwhelming at times, drowning out dialogue and critical scene details during its premiere at Sundance. This imbalance between the visual and auditory aspects can detract from the overall cohesion of the film. Narratively, The Legend of Ochi endeavors to tackle themes of fear, misunderstanding, and the courage to seek truth, which are thoughtfully introduced but not always thoroughly explored. The pacing feels rushed in parts, particularly in the development of key relationships and conflicts, leaving some plot points feeling underdeveloped and the resolutions, while satisfying, somewhat predictable. In conclusion, The Legend of Ochi is a commendable effort by Isaiah Saxon and his team, delivering a film that is both visually captivating and rich in character. However, the film does not fully escape the pitfalls of its ambitious artistic choices. Despite these flaws, it remains a worthwhile watch, especially for those who appreciate the artistry of puppetry and the timeless appeal of a well-told fantasy story. It's a film that dazzles the senses, even if it doesn't always capture the heart.
Isaiah Saxon's The Legend of Ochi attempts to carve a niche within the modern fantasy genre by intertwining traditional puppetry with a narrative steeped in folklore and environmental consciousness. While the film aims to enchant audiences with its visual and thematic boldness, it falls short in several key areas, reflecting a disparity between ambition and execution. From a visual standpoint, The Legend of Ochi is undeniably beautiful. The film's use of traditional puppetry as opposed to CGI is both its most distinctive feature and its Achilles heel. The puppetry lends a tactile authenticity that CGI often fails to replicate, evoking a sense of nostalgia and wonder reminiscent of classic films like The Dark Crystal. However, this method also introduces limitations that are hard to overlook. The movements of the puppets can appear stilted and occasionally awkward, which disrupts the fluidity of action scenes and detracts from the potential for genuine emotional expression. This often undermines the seriousness of the narrative, making pivotal scenes feel less impactful. Helena Zengel, as Yuri, delivers a performance that is both earnest and compelling, effectively carrying the film through its less convincing moments. Her ability to portray a range of emotions convincingly is a testament to her talent and stands as a high point in the film. However, the development of her character is hindered by a script that rushes through significant developments. This results in a narrative that feels both rushed and superficial, as if the film is more concerned with moving from one visually stunning set piece to the next rather than developing a coherent story. The supporting cast, including Finn Wolfhard, Emily Watson, and Willem Dafoe, bring gravitas and depth to the film, but they are similarly let down by underwritten roles that fail to utilize their full potential. The dialogue often veers into the realm of cliché, with expository lines that feel forced and unnatural, hampering the otherwise stellar performances. Another critical issue is the film's pacing and structure. The Legend of Ochi struggles with balancing its ambitious thematic elements with effective storytelling. Key plot points are introduced and resolved too quickly to allow for any meaningful exploration or resolution. The narrative tries to address themes of fear, acceptance, and environmentalism, but these are only superficially touched upon, leaving much to be desired in terms of depth and thoughtfulness. Despite these shortcomings, The Legend of Ochi is not without its merits. The film's soundtrack, while occasionally overwhelming, is beautifully composed, enhancing the atmospheric quality of the film. Moreover, the lush settings and detailed costumes create a visually immersive world that is easy to get lost in. In conclusion, while The Legend of Ochi is a visually striking film that attempts to push the boundaries of traditional fantasy storytelling, it is ultimately let down by its execution. The reliance on puppetry, while unique, introduces significant challenges that the film struggles to overcome. It is a movie that sparks the imagination but fails to fully capture the heart, offering a mixed experience that might leave viewers appreciating its creativity but longing for a more polished narrative.
Let's get this straight right out of the gate. The Legend of Ochi promised a lot and delivered little. Directed by Isaiah Saxon, this film was supposed to breathe new life into the fantasy genre with its old-school puppetry and enchanting tale. But instead of reviving the magical charm of classics like The Never-Ending Story, it ended up being a frustrating misfire that couldn't even get the basics right. First off, the use of traditional puppetry over CGI might sound like a cool, nostalgic nod to the golden days of fantasy cinema, but in execution, it's a complete flop. The movements are clunky, the expressions are nearly non-existent, and it just saps all the life out of the creatures it aims to bring alive. It's 2025, folks, not 1985, and the charm of puppetry without top-notch execution just doesn't hold up anymore. This isn't innovation, it's a step back. And let's talk about the visuals beyond the puppets. Yes, the landscapes are visually pleasing with vibrant colors that pop, making Carpathia look like a paradise lost. But pretty scenery can't save a film when the characters moving through it look like they belong in a low-budget school play. It's like putting lipstick on a pig, it doesn't change what's underneath. Helena Zengel, who plays Yuri, does what she can with the material she's given. But let's be honest, the script is a disaster. The dialogue is so heavy-handed and expository that it feels like the writers think the audience might forget they're watching a fantasy movie. Look, she's brave. See how quirky this world is? We get it. No amount of acting prowess can save lines that sound like they were written by an overzealous fan fiction author in a rush. And the pacing, oh, the pacing. It's all over the place. The film rushes through important plot points that needed to breathe, robbing the story of any depth or emotional stakes. 1 minute you're learning about these mystical Oki creatures, and the next, you're thrust into a half-baked adventure that lacks any real suspense or intrigue. It feels like the filmmakers were trying to cram a 5-hour epic into a 90-minute runtime. The score is another bone of contention. Instead of enhancing the film, it's so overbearing that it practically drowns out the dialogue in key scenes. It's like the composer was trying to compensate for the lackluster on-screen drama with sheer volume. Subtlety? Ever heard of it? In conclusion, The Legend of Oki is a prime example of how trying to tap into nostalgia without proper execution can lead to a cinematic disaster. It fails to deliver the emotional depth, narrative coherence, and character development that make fantasy films truly memorable. Instead of a magical escape, it's an exercise in frustration, proving that some classics just can't be recreated.
Like always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more videos like this, including the real review after it is released in theaters. I tend to have at least 2 videos out per week, AI reviews like this or real reviews depending on releases. Until next time.